A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta. As part of National Nutrition Week, we're emphasizing the vital role of proper nutrition and shining a spotlight on Greenday, an agritech company dedicated to making nutrition affordable and accessible for everyone. Indian badminton star and Olympic medalist and world champion PV Sindhu has invested in Greenday's Better Nutrition brand. And on tonight's show, I'll be first speaking with PV Sindhu about the significance of nutrition, followed by an insightful conversation with Prateek Rastogi, the founder and CEO of Greenday. Listen in. PV Sindhu, thank you so much for joining us today on Leaders of Tomorrow. It's a pleasure speaking to you today.
Thank you.
To begin with, we are having this conversation in line with National Nutrition Week. Can you give us an overview of the sports nutrition landscape in India? How much do you think people in India really understand its importance these days?
The sports nutrition landscape in India is, evolving rapidly. And there's a growing awareness about the role nutrition plays in performance. But obviously, we still have a long way to go. People are starting to, realize that nutrition isn't just about eating well. It is also about eating right for your specific needs, because everybody has different needs. So it is important that you need to eat what is required. And whether you're an athlete or someone, it doesn't matter, but for leading an active lifestyle. And I think one of the best ways to ensure natural nutrition is through the consumption of the biofortified foods, which are naturally enriched with essential nutrients. So I think these foods offer a very simple yet very powerful way to meet the body's nutritional needs, especially for the athletes.
So as an athlete, tell us how integral is nutrition to your daily routine and overall performance? Like, how does it specifically impact your training and performance as an athlete?
Nutrition is like a foundation, of my daily routine, because it's very, very important. And me being an athlete, I think it's even more because, I need to make sure everything is right for my body. And I think it's a fuel that, powers my training, recovery, and ultimately also my performance. Without the right nutrients, I think it's impossible to maintain the energy and, of course, the physical strength needed to compete at the highest level. And it's not just about eating right, but also eating foods that are naturally packed with the nutrients my body needs. And biofortified foods, which are naturally enhanced at the agriculture level, play a very big role in my diet, and they help me maintain the energy and strength needed to perform at my best every single day. And that is why I say, diet is very, very important, and you eat the right food.
So on that note, tell us what inspired you to invest in Greenday. What would you say is its USP?
Well, I think I was inspired by the Greenday's mission to make biofortified nutrient-rich foods accessible to everyone. And I think their focus on improving the nutritional quality of staple food through the biofortification is truly very, very innovative. And the USP of Greenday is their process, which goes beyond just biofortified seeds. They've revolutionized farming practices to ensure that nutrition is built into the food right from the beginning, from the start, making their products truly special and effective, and which is very, very good and very, very innovative. And I think this aligns perfectly with my values of health and wellness, and I think, mostly giving back to the community.
So, Sindhu, of course, you are a sports person, but I'm keen to understand how Greenday's focus, on biofortified crops can impact the overall health and nutrition of the average Indian and the average Indian household. What can you tell us?
Greenday's focus on biofortified crops can be a game changer for Indian households by enhancing the nutritional content of everyday staples like rice and wheat. well, we can tackle nutrient deficiencies that affect millions. This not only improves the health of the individuals but also contributes to overall well-being of families across the country. It's about making nutritious food a norm, not a luxury. So
And is this how you believe Green Day is truly making a difference and contributing to the health and wellness sector in India?
it is definitely making a difference by changing how nutrition is delivered, starting from the ground up. They're not just producing healthier food options, they're transforming the entire agriculture process by encouraging farmers to adopt these practices. They're ensuring that biofortified foods become a regular part of the Indian diet, contributing to a healthier nation.
Absolutely. Changing gears a little bit, Sindhu, tell us, what do you look for when investing in a startup or a small business? Is there a strategy or a checklist you follow?
Well, when investing, I look for a strong and clear mission that aligns with my values, and I'm drawn to businesses that focus on innovation, sustainability, and making a positive impact on the society. The team behind the business is also very, very crucial. Passion, dedication, and expertise are non-negotiables for me, and I think I want to support businesses that are not only profitable but also contribute to the greater good.
Athletes often exhibit qualities like discipline, perseverance, and the ability to perform under pressure. And these are traits that are equally essential for entrepreneurs. And since our show is about entrepreneurship, I'd like to ask you, what key lessons from the world of sports can entrepreneurs adopt to navigate challenges?
The biggest lesson from sports that entrepreneurs can adopt is discipline. In sports, consistent effort every day leads to success, and you need to have that consistent efforts. I mean, every single day, just like in business, perseverance is a crucial too. Athletes face setbacks but keep pushing forward, and which is exactly what entrepreneurs need to do, when challenges arise. And I think lastly, performing under pressure is a daily reality for athletes, because how much ever you play, there is that pressure every single time you get onto the court, every single time you go out there, you play, and you want to perform every single time. And mastering this skill can help entrepreneurs make sound decisions even in tough situations. And I think it is important for every single person, not only to the athletes but also to the entrepreneurs.
Our show is called Leaders of Tomorrow. Our viewers would love to know your take on leadership. What does being a leader mean to you?
But I think to me, being a leader is about setting an example through actions. It's about guiding others, being there for your team, and inspiring them to strive for their best. A leader listens, adapts, and also empowers others to grow. In sports, as in business, a leader doesn't just give directions. They lead by example and showing resilience, dedication, and commitment to the goals. So I think it is important that guiding others and being there for everybody, for your team, and they see and learn from you. So yeah, that should be there.
So, zooming out a little bit, tell us, how do you see your role in shaping the next generation of athletes and contributing to the world of sports globally?
Well, I see my role as not just an athlete, but as a mentor and advocate for the next generation as well. I want to inspire young athletes to pursue their dreams, and with the same passion and dedication and discipline that has driven me. By sharing my experiences and supporting initiatives that provide better training and nutrition, I mean, I hope to contribute to the growth of sports globally and help the next generation reach even better heights. And I can definitely give what I had. I mean, I can guide them, and for the next generation, I want them to know, learn, adapt things, and go much more higher.
Fantastic. And finally, what message do you want to convey to our viewers about the importance of nutrition and healthy eating habits?
Well, my message, of course, is very simple. Prioritize your nutrition. What you eat directly affects your energy and your health and your ability to achieve any goals. And whether you are an athlete or just someone who wants to live a healthy life, it is very important that you eat properly. And I think it's more than anything, to live a healthy life, making informed choices about what you put into your body is very essential. And healthy eating isn't just about restrictions, it's also about making better choices that fuel your body and mind for a long term. And biofortified foods are a great way to do this because they're packed with essential nutrients right from the source. So that's why I choose this, and yeah, that's why I also advise and tell them that biofortified foods are a great way to do this.
Thank you so much, PV Sindhu. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you.
On that note, it's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. In light of National Nutrition Week, we are putting a spotlight on the importance of nutrition today. Joining me now for the segment is Prateek Rastogi, the founder and CEO of the agritech company Greenday. Thank you, Prateek, for joining us today.
Thank you, Ritwika. The pleasure is all mine.
So let's begin by talking about what inspired you to start Greenday. What was the initial motivation?
In the early days of my agriculture entrepreneurship, I was actually living in the rural areas, working very close to the farmers. And at that point of time, I was able to see a stark contrast, a difference between our agricultural potential of India and of our farming communities. And on the other hand, the significant micronutrient deficiencies that our population faces, which is because of the same deficiencies being present in our diet. Now, look at some of these numbers. India today is the second largest agri producer in the world, but we are 111th on the global hunger index. We are faring behind some countries such as Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. So these numbers speak for themselves. And what it truly means is that while we are producing a lot of food, this food is not solving for the nutritional deficiencies, or it's not providing, optimum nutrition to the population which is consuming this. And this is the problem that, we wanted to solve. And we wanted to solve this in a way while taking our farmers ahead. So we created a biofortification company, which is Greenday. It's a supply chain right from the seed to the table. We work on nutrition-dense farming, and we increase nutrition through our farms, along with our farmers. So that's been the motivation.
Right, and like you mentioned, and from what I understand, Greenday incentivizes farmers to grow nutrition-dense crops. What kind of response have you received from the farming community, Prateek?
Our farmers have a mindset which is to increase yields within their farms. It's a volumetric production that our country undertakes at a primary level, and we wanted to switch this mindset from a yield-centric farming towards a nutrition-centric farming, and it was difficult in the beginning. But we created Greenday centers, which are farm gate centers present nearby the farmers, and they are run by educated micro entrepreneurs, who are agri graduates. And any of these centers, they really help us educate the farmers in a consistent, persistent manner, and we are able to create demonstration plots for our farmers, from where we show them proof of concept of how this nutrition-dense farming is actually economically beneficial for them in the long run. And we have been able to incentivize them by providing them a bonus over the minimum support price that the government would give.
So how do you see Greenday contributing to the broader healthcare and nutrition landscape in India?
So I think Greenday and Better Nutrition are absolutely pioneering a new science in our country, which is nutrition-dense farming. We are establishing a new category, which is biofortified products, biofortified staples, and even newer categories for our urban consumers. Now, if you look at the value-added food market within our country, we primarily have categories like organic foods or traditionally fortified foods. But biofortified foods is quite a significant improvement on any of these existing categories within healthcare and nutrition.
Prateek, can you tell us some of the challenges that MSMEs and smaller businesses in the agriculture and nutrition sectors face in India?
For all of us startups, MSMEs within this space, the challenge is around scalability. When you talk about scalability, there are two important factors. Now, one is access to capital, and then second one is access to distribution systems. The work we do is, it's quite R&D intensive. Also, it requires, a lot of customer education, whether it is farmers as customers or it is urban consumers as our customers. It requires education on different fronts, and typically any VCs today are not, they're not interested in pushing capital in sectors where there's a lot of customer education required, because these are a long gestation periods, and also because of the R&D intensive nature of our businesses, the product development cycles are quite long. So it requires more patient capital to come in, which is sort of lacking in the country today. So yeah, that's one problem, and I think one of the other challenges is definitely around consumer education.
And how do you view technology? What role does it play in Greenplay's operation, from biofortification to distribution? What can you tell us?
See, technology is absolutely central to our core operations. It's really the cornerstone of everything that we do. Now, case in point is agronomic biofortification, which is a unique process that our company undertakes to increase the nutritional value of the crops using methods such as seed treatment, soil fortification, and a foliar spray. Now, this is a true deployment of agritech to our farmers. Case in point would be we would apply bacteria such as zinc solubilizing bacteria to our crops, and that would help us increase the zinc as a nutrient value into the final produce that we are making. So I believe it's quite a cool science, and that we are able to deploy to the Indian farmers.
Prateek, can you also talk to us a bit about your partnership with a number of FMCG brands, mill owners and government entities, the supply chain that you've established, and how these collaborations are helping you achieve your goals?
So at the back of our brand Better Nutrition stands our Greenday's Kisan Ki Dukaan model, roughly a 75 odd procurement centers which are run by educated agri graduates. We've also established women entrepreneurs as who are agri graduates, and that's the first of its kind in our country. And this entire supply chain, it starts right from seed development to looking at the entire crop cycle, deploying methods for soil testing, agronomic biofortification, and measuring the final crop output for its nutritional value, and also buying back the crop output using the centers from the farmers, while also giving them an incentive. So that's the kind of supply chain we have developed, and we have a very strong control over the farming, the biofortified farming that we undertake with our farmers. And going ahead, while we are today bringing this out in for the urban consumers in a cool format, which is our Better Nutrition brand, which is backed by the likes of PV Sindhu. But we are also working with, let's say, currently the UP government today, certain organizations which are advocacy partners, and trying to take some of our products to certain school feeding programs of the Indian government. We've pitched our produce to organizations such as UNICEF, to the World Food Program, which are all really working on increasing the nutrients or supplying foods to school kids, school feeding programs, etc. So when we are producing any of these products along with our farmers, the applications are manifold, and there are various B2B sectors as well. Flour millers. There are there's Horeca, hotel chains. So various food companies that are into FMCG space are trying to build nutrition as their main USP. They can partner with us, and they can get access to core ingredients such as wheat flour, rice, millets. We've just been working on millets such as an iron pearl millet, which is one of the highest iron contents in a bajra variety, calcium-rich finger millet, which is ragi, wheat and rice, which is already something that's out in the market and that's enriched with the micronutrients like iron and zinc, and also it has a high protein content.
And what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who are looking to enter the agritech or nutrition landscape in India?
See, my one piece of advice is really simple, that any of us agri entrepreneurs or nutrition entrepreneurs, we have to be in this for the long haul. As I was saying that our sectors are R&D intensive. The product life cycles are quite long, and one has to be ready for education, really, which is even with, let's say, with farmers or with urban consumers. So we have to be out there and be ready to educate the markets. And because of this, it becomes a game of patience and persistence and long gestation period. So one has to be ready for it, right from the beginning. And we have a saying within agriculture, it's the slow and steady that would win the race. So yeah, that's my advice to us, fellow agri entrepreneurs.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Prateek. It was a pleasure chatting with you today.
Thank you, Ritwika, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
On that note, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed watching today's episode. Thank you and goodbye.